Hey guys, Laurence here. I've got a really great video for you today. I'm going to be walking you through exactly how we book roughly 150 sales calls every single month through cold email alone. So you can basically just copy me. Let's jump straight into it. First off, let's look at some proof. This is our Calendly account from the 1st of January this year. So let's just take a look here. 1st of Jan to the 31st of Jan, 182 sales calls. 1st of Jan to the end of Feb, 304. And so far this month, we've generated a few. So we're at 326 so far this year. So just to give you a little bit of proof as to the fact that we are actually doing this. So how do we do it? Well, I'm going to walk you through it step by step so you can literally just copy me. So first thing is leads. So here's what everybody gets confused about is where do I get my leads from? What do I do? How do I do it? No right or wrong answer here. So many people say, oh, you got to get your leads from this source or from that source or from wherever. All of those answers are wrong. The only true way to find out the best source of leads for you and your business, for your ideal clients and your unique scenario and situation is to test. How do you test? You create something very simple like this, where you track the lead source, you take a look at the particular filters that you have, you make a note of how many leads were downloaded, how many leads were then verified after you went through something like Never Bounce, and then you track the percentage of the leads that were verified. You then look at how many leads you contacted in an actual live campaign. You look at the open rate of those leads. You look at how many positive responses you got, how many meetings booked you got, what your positive response rate was, and what your appointment booking rate was. And you do that for maybe 4 or 5 different lead sourcing tools to find out which one's going to be best for you, which one has the highest validation rate, which one has the best open rate by using the same subject line. Obviously, you've got to keep all the other variables exactly the same. What got you the most positive responses, and what, most importantly, got you the highest appointment booking rate. That's how you find out what lead sourcing tool you should be using. So I'm not going to tell you what ours is because it's completely irrelevant. What's relevant is you finding your best, and this is how you do it, creating something simple like this. So pause this if you want, and you can kind of copy it and make it your own. So that's your leads. So that's the first thing we need is actual leads. We then need to actually send it. We use instantly.ai to send our emails from. Great tool, highly recommended. Most people know what Instantly is. If you don't, it's a CRM system designed specifically for cold email. That's the easiest way to think about it. It allows you to send lots of emails from lots of different email addresses. So you're not sending too many emails from one email address, and it distributes the sending volume across multiple email addresses and allows you to manage all the inboxes easily and all that good stuff. So we recommend Instantly. It's what we use for ourselves and for our clients. Once we've got leads and we've now got a tool to send an email, we now need to know what to send in that email. And so we need to create a compelling offer. One thing to think about is that you are not married to your offer. You will, or you may have to change this throughout the initial stages of finding out what works and what doesn't work for you and your business and your ideal prospects, the people that you're trying to get onto a sales call. Also remember that over time, what your prospects want is going to change. The market evolves. We've recently come across this. We now changed our offer from what it once was to what it is now. We've now gone from a more kind of consultative approach to actually doing it for our clients and managing the entire process for them, but with a bunch of added benefits as well. That there's some downfalls to done for you. That's not what this video is about, but just be aware that you're not going to be married to your offer, and it will change over time, and it might change a lot during the first few kind of weeks and maybe even months of running cold email to generate more calls for your agency. Once you've got a compelling offer, you then need to deliver it in a compelling way. We use personalized videos to do this. Let's say, for example, you've got a really compelling offer and you deliver it in a very boring way. You send a plain text email, for example. I don't know what your inbox looks like, but if it's anything like mine, you get a dozen of these every single day, plain text emails, people reaching out to you saying, we can help you do this, do that, do whatever. And what do you do with them? You ignore them, right? You ignore 99% of them, and it's only those that kind of do something slightly different that catch your eye. So we need to make sure that we're not only saying something compelling, but we're delivering it in a compelling way. If we say something compelling, don't deliver it in a compelling way, it's going to get ignored. If we say something boring, deliver it in a compelling way, it's going to get noticed, but you're not going to get any calls on your calendar. So you can't have one without the other. You need them both in order to succeed. Personalized videos is what we do. It's not necessarily what everybody has to do, but it's what we do for ourselves and for the majority of our clients. Some of our clients do other things as well, but for the majority of our clients, we use personalized videos. Now, how do we do personalized videos? Well, it looks a little bit like this. We use a combination of virtual assistants
And we use AI as well to create personalized videos at scale. I don't have enough time in the day to be able to create enough personalized videos to generate 326 sales calls so far this year over the past few months. So we need leverage, and we leverage them through VAs and AI. So once we've got a great message and we're delivering it in a great way, we then need to understand what our conversion rates are. And we understand what our conversion rates are by doing lots of tracking. So what are our conversion rates that we're looking out for? We're looking out for ultimately what is our appointment booking rate, and that as a percentage. So how many leads did we contact and how many meetings did we get booked in? If we contacted 100 leads and we got one call booked in, that would equal a 1% appointment booking rate. And that is our main KPI, is trying to understand what our appointment booking rate is. And then when we understand what that conversion rate is, not just on a small data set done one time, but over a large data set done over many different campaigns, we can then start to make some serious progress in terms of generating more appointments. So once we know our conversion rates, we now know the system requirements to generate the volume of calls that we want. Now, the reason there's a little email symbol here is because that's what a lot of these system requirements, basically, it all boils down to. It all boils down to the amount of domains that we have, the amount of emails that we have to send from. It goes to the number of leads that we have. And it's also about the internal structure that we have to be able to basically cope with that sort of volume. So let's say, for example, that our appointment booking rate is 0.5%, just for ease of maths. So that means that we need to contact 200 leads to get one appointment on the calendar. So let's say I want to get 10 calls. So I'm going to need to contact 2,000 leads. So if I'm going to contact 2,000 leads, I need to know how many emails I can send from each email address. And I need to know how many email addresses I need in order to be able to contact 2,000 leads. And I also need to know how many domains I need. So for example, we know that we need 2,000 leads. But we need to go one step further than that. Not every single lead is going to be valid. They're not all going to be verified. Some will bounce. So maybe we actually need 3,000 leads. So we're going to need 3,000 leads to be able to actually end up with 2,000 qualified leads. To contact 2,000 leads, we might need 20 email addresses and 10 domains. In order to be able to do the internal structure, we might need to make sure that we've got AI, and we need to make sure that we've got somebody. So we need a person to basically manage the whole process for us, because it can take a long time to create these campaigns and send them all out. So we need to make sure that we've got the requirements in place to do that. That's kind of the next step, is understanding from your conversion rates now what is required to actually achieve your goals. So maybe there should be another step in here, which is like understanding what your goals are before we then look at what's required to achieve them. Once we've got those system requirements, the next thing we're going to look at is VAs. It takes a lot of time to do this. To track, for example, the effectiveness of each individual lead sourcing provider, to run campaigns individually to each one of these to see which one works the best. That takes time. To look at the results takes time. To launch the campaigns takes time. To create these personalized videos takes a lot of time. So we need somebody inside our business that's going to be focused on this. We found it to be about 30 hours a week. So it's very nearly a full-time gig if you want to actually do this properly and make cold email a really solid and predictable way to generate appointments and grow your business. And it is one of the most cost-effective ways to grow, but you do need somebody in place to manage it, because as we all know, as busy business owners, life happens, things get in the way, and other things take priority than, for example, creating some personalized videos or managing the process. It's like a relatively simple, laborious task that takes time, that we probably have slightly more difficult tasks that we can be doing that you're better suited to as the business owner. So we need somebody to do it, whether that's a VA, whoever. You need somebody to take ownership of this process. And then what we need to do is we need to track. And we need to make sure that we are tracking absolutely everything. And if I zoom out here, this is our process, but it is not linear. So what we do now is once we track, we then basically go back to here and we start the process again. And we go through it, and when we get back, we track, and then maybe we find that after our tracking, we need to change our offer. Or maybe we're realizing that nobody's actually consuming our our message, and we need to change the way that we actually deal with, how do we actually deliver our message in a compelling way. So we're always relying on data. And if we didn't have this data, we wouldn't be able to generate, say, 150 to 200 appointments a month. We just wouldn't be able to do it. And it's through data. And this is basically how we get 150-ish appointments every single month, purely through cold email. And if you'd like us to come into your business and build these systems out for you and build them directly into your business, which is a really important thing. So I talked earlier about done for you being a big thing that we've transitioned to. There's still a major problem with done for you. And that problem is that the agency then holds the key to the growth of your business, which is not a smart place to be. The alternative is somebody coming in and building everything out for you and then giving you something to do. So what we've actually done is we'll come into your business and build everything inside your business, make sure that you own all these systems, and then we'll manage it for you day to day. We'll make sure that we'll help you create a compelling offer, create personalized videos, for example, or not necessarily just that, but a very unique way to deliver your message so it stands out and resonates with people and makes them want to speak with you. We'll track all of your conversion rates. We'll build out all the requirements to make sure that you're actually going to hit this, and we'll do all that internally without your time or input. And then we'll obviously manage it. We won't do it with VAs, we'll do it with our internal team. We'll track everything, we'll provide you with tracking, but more importantly, we'll use this tracking to actually improve the results so you can start generating a similar number of sales calls like we do through cold emails. So if you want to find out a little bit more about how we can do everything, then first link in the description is for you. Click that button, schedule in a call. I'll explain exactly how we can help, what's involved, and we can together decide whether or not working together makes sense. If it doesn't, I'll be able to point you in the right direction, give you some advice on how you can start generating more calls for your own agency. So this is how we're generating 150-ish sales calls every single month. Hope you've got value from this video. Hope you found it insightful, useful. If you have, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help the channel grow, and I will see you on the next one.